Text number 5. No cha masani bhutani na cha masani bhutani pasha me yoga aisajam pasha me yoga aisajam. I'm sorry. Pasha me yogam aisaram. Pasame Jogavaisharam Nachamasthani Bhutani Pasame Jogavaisharam Bhutavit Na Cha Bhutastho Bhutavit Nacha Bhutastho Mamatma Bhuta Bhavana Mamatma Bhuta Bhavana Bhuta Vinna cha Bhutastha Mamatma Bhuta Bhavana Nachamasthani Bhutani Pasame Yogamaisaram Bhuta Vinna cha Bhutastha Mamatma Bhuta Bhavana. So, last verse we had discussed. Krishna said, when you speak Krishna, you should understand Krishna means God, the Supreme Being. Krishna, the etymological meaning is they all attract. Without being all attractive, there is no meaning of God. It is not that God is attractive only to certain class of men. No. God is attractive for all classes of men unless he is animal. Animal does not know what is God and what is the attraction of God. He does not know. But human being, in the human society, at least in the civilized human society, there is a certain idea of God. Either you follow Christianity or Vedic principle or Mohammedan religion or even Buddha religion, there is conception of God. There is an attempt to understand God. That is human society. Therefore, according to the capability or country and the people, the conception of God may be a little different from one another, but the attraction for God is there. There is no doubt about it. God appears in three fundamental features. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabdati. Vadanti tattavidas satyam jadgyanam advayam Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabdati. So, God is realized in three features by the transcendentalist. The first is impersonal Brahma. Impersonal Brahma without any particular form. That is called Brahma realization. Above that, there is Paramatma realization, localized. As Krishna said in the previous verse, Maya tatamidam sarvam. Everywhere there is God. In the heart of everyone, even within the atom, there is God. This is called Paramatma feature. Localized everywhere, God is there. And then Bhagavan. Bhagavan personal, the personality of God, the supreme personality of God. So, in the supreme personality, Krishna said in the previous verse, Masthani sarvabhutani nacha ahangateshu avastitaha. That is explained in this verse, that everything is resting upon me. But at the same time, nachamasthani bhutani, they are not also in me. This particular portion has to be understood. When Krishna says, God says that everything is resting upon him, that means everything is resting upon his expanded energy, not personally on him. Personally is aloof. Therefore it is said, nachamasthani bhutani. The same example, just like when we say everything is resting on the sunshine, that does not mean everything is in the sun. But the sunshine is not different from the sun. Therefore you can say that expanded form, everything is resting on the sun. Try to understand this analogy. So, nothing can exist without God, nothing is except God, but still everything is not God. That has to be understood. This is called achinta bheda tattva, simultaneously one and different. So the conclusion is the Mayavadi philosophy, impersonalists, they say that if God has expanded in everything, there is no particular personal existence of God. That is Mayavadi philosophy. But that is not the fact. Fact is that although God is personal, He is person, just like you are person, I am person, He is person, but He is the supreme person. And everything is expanded by His energy. In another place, in the Vishnu Purana, it is explained very nicely that parasya brahmana shakti sarvedam akhilam jagat ekodesha sthitasagne josna vistarina jatha parasya brahmana shakti sarvedam akhilam jagat. It is very clear conception that the Agni or the fire is situated in one place. But it has expanded by ekati sastita sagne josna vistarina. Josna means illumination. Illumination has expanded. That is, we can understand if there is dark place and if there is a fireplace in that dark, immediately there is illumination that is expanded. Similarly, God is situated in His own place, that is called Goloka Vrindavan. Goloka eva nivasati akhilatmahu, that is God. Although He is situated in His own abode, which is called Goloka Vrindavan, He has expanded throughout the creation by His energy. This is explained. Ekodesha sthita sagni. Agni means fire. Fire may be situated in one place, but the illumination has expanded. Similarly, God is situated in His own place, but His energy, parasya brahmana shakti. So whatever you see, that is simply expansion of the energy of God. Parasya brahmana shakti. Sarvedam akhilam jagat. Akhilam jagat, whole universe, whatever you are saying, that is expansion of the energy. But the Mayavad philosophy, they cannot understand. They are less intelligent. Therefore they say, if God has expanded everywhere, then where is God person? No, that is not the fact. The fact is, God is person. He is situated in one place, but his energy, his energy has expanded. Whatever you see in this material world or spiritual world, the difference between material world and spiritual world means in the material world we have forgotten Krishna. Material means when we forget God, that is material. And when we know God, existence of God, then that is spiritual. There is a difference between material and spiritual. Just like this temple is spiritual, because here there is no forgetfulness of God. Everyone is every moment, 24 hours, they are always remembering God. Therefore it is spiritual. Nirgun. If you live in the temple, or if you live in God's business, Krishna consciousness, then you are in the spiritual world. You are not in the material world. Material world means where God is forgotten. That is material world. So, God is expanded by his energy. Sarvidam akhilam jagat. The spiritual world means when his spiritual energy is expanded, that is spiritual world. And when his material energy is expanded, both of them are God energies. But in one energy, just like, I'll give you again the same example, the government. The government, say the university department, educational department, and the jail department. The jail department is also government department. It is not that government is absent from the jail department. Rather, government is spending more money for the jail department, more than the government spends on the university department. So both of them have government concern. But one department is full of criminals and one department is full of learned scholars. This is the difference. Try to understand. You don't think that the material world is out of the control of God. It is also under the control. Exactly. The jail department is also under the control of the government. So that is the difference, material world and spiritual world. Material world means full of criminals, all against God, all defying the authority of God. And the spiritual world, everyone is accepting the supremacy of God. That is material and spiritual. So here it is said, Nachamasthani bhutani, where God is forgotten, that is godlessness. Nachamasthani bhutani paschame yogamaisaram. Although they are living within the kingdom of God, still they are forgotten. Because they wanted to forget. God is giving us facility that if you want to forget Him, He will give you good facilities to forget Him forever. Jijathamang prapaddanti sam tathayyo bhajaniyaham. But if you want God, He will give all facilities to come back to Him, back to God. So this is our position in the human form of life. If we want to go back to home, back to Godhead, then we can do that in this life. And if we want to forget Him again, we have got this chance. If we want to forget Krishna, God, then we are again in the cycle of birth and death. That is the beginning of this chapter, 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Asaddhana purusha dharmasasa parantava aprapta mang nivattanti mittu samsara vartmani. Two things that is explained. Asaddhana, what Krishna is speaking, the instruction. If we have no faith to believe Him, and if we don't accept it, then The result is that he is losing the chance. He got this human form of life to understand God. But if he is missing this opportunity, then the result will be aprapman nivartanti. We have come from God. Either you go back to home, back to Godhead, or again we go back to the cycle of birth and death. Mrityu samsara vatmani. The cycle of birth and death, it is called mrityu samsara. Samsara means tribulation. Sufferings. Those suffering, the ultimate suffering is mrityu, death. So death, again birth, that is also suffering. Although we forget, but to take birth is a great suffering. Great suffering means you have to enter the womb of the mother and you have to grow your body, and there is risk of being killed also. Especially at the present moment, they are killing the child in the womb. So just imagine how much suffering it is. And if he is killed, if the child is killed, then his term of imprisonment in that body is not finished. Therefore, he has to enter again another body, again enter into the mother's womb. And it may be many hundreds of years may pass on before he can again see light. So there is great suffering. Therefore Krishna presents Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanudarsana. Intelligent person, they should always keep before the sufferings. We are making solution of our suffering for 10 years or 50 years or 100 years, because we cannot live here more than 100 years. So that is temporary. I am eternal, you are eternal. Our real suffering is to take birth and remain in the womb of the mother. And even coming out of the womb of the mother, the small children, they feel always uncomfortable, therefore they cry. The mother cannot understand what is the suffering of the, he is hungry, but the mother is thinking that he wants to sleep, or misunderstanding, the child is uncomfortable. In this way childhood is past, then again we become boy, again go to school, again examination, again this. In this way, the whole life is suffering. But under the spell of Maya, we are thinking we are happy. Therefore it is said, Mrityu samsara vatmani. If we want to get relief from this business of birth, death, old age and disease, let us take to Krishna consciousness or God consciousness and take his instruction directly and apply it in life. Your life will be successful. This is the subject matter of this chapter. So, how God is situated, he is explaining. Nachamasthane bhutane pasame yogamaisaram. Aisharam. Aisharam means supremacy. How supremacy, how supreme he is. Everything is resting on him. Still, everything is without him. And that is very easy to understand. That we cannot exist without God's mercy, without the potency on which this potency is life. Try to understand what is this life. We have got this material body. Material body means this gross body is made of earth, water, air, fire, ether. This is the gross body. And the subtle body, mind, intelligence and ego. This we are situated in this body. Therefore, what is this? These energies, it is Krishna's energy. Therefore you are situated in the energy, material energy of the Supreme Lord. We are ourselves also energy of the Supreme Lord, marginal energy. So Although we are situated in God's energy, we are forgetful. Therefore Krishna says, Masthani sarva bhutan. Everyone is existing on my energy. Still, I am not there. I am not there means the living entity has forgotten or cannot understand God, that he is within the God's energy, God's material power or energy. Still he cannot understand. And another person, Nachamasthani bhutani pasame jagam bhutavit nacha bhutasya bhutavit. He is maintaining everyone. But that does not mean that he is one of them. He is also being maintained. That is a mistake. This is explained in the Vedic literature that nitya nityanam chetanas chetananam ego bahulam vidadhati kamam. Two kinds of living entities. Nitya nityanam. He, the Supreme Lord, is also eternal. We are also eternal. We are plural number and is singular number. Nitya nityana. Chetanas chetanana. Chetana means with consciousness. We are also conscious and Krishna is also conscious. So, he is the supreme conscious. And in another place it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Khetragan cha vimang vidhi sarva khetreshu bharata. Kshetragan. Kshetra means this body. Kshetra means this field. So, just like a cultivator works on the field and produces its food grain, result of tilling the field. Similarly, we have got a particular type of body, field, and I am the tiller of the field. Therefore, I am owner of the field. In India, of course, you have got a small plot of land, and each cultivator owns it and he produces his own fruit. Similarly, according to our body, we are producing the resultant action and we are enjoying the result. So, enjoying the result means in this body we are creating some circumstances, and if it is not possible to enjoy or suffer from the resultant action, then the next life we get another body, we suffer or enjoy. This is going on. So the living entity is called Khetraga. Khetraga means one who knows his body. Every one of us, we know, I think it is my body. Nobody says I body. Everyone says my body, my finger, my hand. So therefore he is known as Khetraga, one who knows about his body. So Krishna says that Khetragancha vimang vidhi. I am proprietor of this body, you are proprietor of your body. But Krishna is proprietor of everybody. That is Krishna. Maya tatamidam sarvam. He is in everyone's body. Ishara sarvabhutanam riddheshe arjuna tishtati. So Krishna, that singular number, ekoja bahulam vidudhati kaman. So that one singular number, supreme, conscious person, Krishna, he is maintaining the plural number. Therefore here it is said, bhutavit nacha bhutascha mamatma bhuta bhavana. So whatever flourishing condition we are having in this body or in this life, that is also Krishna's mercy. We want Krishna, from Krishna we want something, and either directly or indirectly. Even if we do not ask him directly, indirectly I desire something, and Krishna is within yourself, myself. He understands that this particular living being is desiring something. So he gives you the facility of whatever you desire. But you do not know whatever you desire, that is the source of your suffering. But we do not accept Krishna's instruction that do not desire anymore. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam. He advised that if you desire, then you will suffer. I will give you facility to fulfill your desire, but that you will get. But that is not good. You will suffer again and again. Bhutta praliyate. To fulfill your some desire. If this desire is not fulfilled in this life, then you have to accept another body. So another body means you have to enter the mother's womb with so much risk and so much suffering. So long you will desire, you will have to accept mrityu samsara vatmani, one body after another, and to accept one body, living one body, that is very, very miserable condition. That we do not understand. But we should understand. Therefore, bhutavit nacha bhutasya mamatma bhuta bhavana. So as the living entity is desiring, Krishna is giving him the facility. That is explained in another place in the Bhagavad Gita. Ishara sarvabhutanam riddeshe Arjuna tishtati. Ishara, the Supreme, he is everywhere. Maya tatamekam sarvam, we have already explained. So he is within the core of our heart. So whatever we desire, he understands. He is omnipotent, omniscient. He can immediately understand. Therefore, it should be understood that there are two living entities. One is Paramatma and the other is the Jivatma. Jivatma, that is clearly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Khetragam chapi imana vidhi. In Upanishad also, there is a verse that the two birds are sitting in one tree. One bird is eating the fruit of the tree and the other bird is simply observing. The observing bird is Krishna or the Super Soul. And the eating bird is the individual soul. So as he desire, that is Ishara Sarvabhutanam Nirdesha Arjunati. He is sitting with me. He is so friendly that he is giving us guidance always. And he is waiting for the time when you shall give up your desires and surrender to the other bird, the observing bird. That is Krishna, Paramatma. Paramatma is so kind that I am taking the body of human being, he is there. I am taking the body of an animal, he is there. I am taking the body of a demigod, he is there. He is so nice friend. He is always and giving me advice that why you are suffering in this way, creating your desires and suffering. Why you are doing this? Better you stop this. You surrender to me, come back to home, back to God. This is, he is always asking. So, Ishara Sarvabhutana Riddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. He is staying in everyone's heart and he is omnipotent. He understands what I desire. Brahman Sarvabhutani Jantrarurani Maya. Because I am desiring something, because everything is not fulfilled by this body. Therefore I have to accept. Suppose if I want to drink fresh blood, nowadays they are drinking fresh blood. So Krishna says, all right, you get a body, a tiger's body, a lion's body, and you drink fresh blood. Why artificially? Just take this blood. If you have no discrimination to eat anything, so Krishna gives us the body of a pig, you can eat anything. Up to soul, you can eat without any difficulty. So, or if you want to enjoy like a demigod, so he gives you the same body. This is going on. But this is either I get the body of a demigod or I get the body of a hog or pig or anything, it is suffering. Because I have to give up one body, that is suffering. I have to accept another body, that is janma mrityu, jara vyadhi. And as soon as I get body, the disease and old age is there. Therefore, any type of body you get, just like in the Western countries, the Americans or Europeans, they think in India that they are very happy. But actually that is not the fact. Everyone is suffering. Anyone who has got this material body is suffering. Either he is in India or in Europe or heavenly planet or this planet. Abrahma bhuvana loka. Therefore Krishna advises that even if you go to the planet known as Brahmaloka, where duration of life is very, very long and the facilities of living condition are far, far superior than here. So Krishna says, even if you go to the Brahmaloka, Abrahma bhuvana lokan punaravartinarjuna madhyasgatyanani vattante tadham. His advice is that you come to his place. Don't try to promote yourself in any other planet, just like they're trying to go to the moon planet. Similarly, somebody is trying to go to the heavenly planet or Brahmaloka or Indraloka, Chandraloka, that you can go. Janti deva brata devan pitrinjan, you can go. But all of them are infected with these sufferings, namely the birth, death and old age and disease. So bhutavit nacha bhutastha mamatma bhuta bhavana. So God gives you chances. Whatever body you want, he does not prepare himself, but jantra rurani maya. His agent is this maya, material energy. And the material energy is conducted under his order. Maya dhakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam. So God, Krishna indicates the super soul who is situated within your heart. You desire something and he immediately orders the material nature that he give him such and such body. Jantra. The body is jantra, machine. This body is a machine. So jantra rurani. He's seated in one kind of machine and he goes from one place to another, from one planet to another, from one life to another. This is going on. Brahman sarva bhutani, jantra rurani maya. So this business is going on. If we want to stop this business, and we have got this opportunity, human form of life, we can understand things if we have got little intelligence. And everything is being explained by Krishna. If we take Krishna's instruction and mold our life accordingly, that is the Krishna consciousness movement, then our life becomes successful. And after giving up this body, we are no more going to accept any material body. Takta dehanga punarjanma noiti mameti kauntya. We get a suitable body in which we can go back to home, back to Godhead. Madjajino pijanti ma. So we have to work here. So we can prepare ourselves to be being promoted to the higher priority system or lower animal kingdom. We can become pig, we can become hog, we can become demigod, we can become so on, so on. Whatever we desire, Krishna will give us opportunity. But that will not make us happy. If we go back to home, back to Godhead, without the tribulation of repetition of birth and death, that will make us happy. So our Krishna consciousness movement is giving opportunity to everyone how to go back to home, back to Godhead after giving up this body. One has to give up this body, that is certain. But why this body should be wasted for propensities like the animals? It should be fully utilized how to go back to home, back to God. This is our propaganda, and we base on these authorities of Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is not that we have manufactured it. There is no question of manufacture. It is authoritative. It is accepted by all the acharyas. So our request is that you also take this opportunity and be Krishna conscious, and next life you go back to home, back to Godhead, and be eternally happy. Thank you very much.